Good morning, everyone. Welcome, and thank you so much for joining us here, whether you're in the room with us or joining in online. We hope you've had a wonderful build so far, and if you're here in Seattle, we hope you had an enjoyable celebration at Lumen Field last night. My name is Siffat Hingorani. I'm a Principal Product Manager for Microsoft Teams, and today I'm so excited to share with you how the Microsoft 365 Copilot platform can help you grow your business. I will be joined today by my colleague Stephen Abrahams, GPM for our Copilot ecosystem, and Kiran Thomas, Senior Product Manager for our Copilot ecosystem. And together, we will show you how to build and take your Copilot agents from development to production, and then to get them published into our new agent store. We promise you an exciting agenda through the next hour with several live demos planned, so stay tuned. We will start by walking you through the brand new agent store experience, which is launching this week. Then Stephen will talk about the Copilot ecosystem and share with us some best practices for building and publishing your own agent. Next, Kiran will show us how to build an agent from scratch, and he has an exciting live demo planned for this section. And finally, I will share with you the process for getting your newly built agents published into the agent store. We will wrap up by sharing some key resources that you can use to get started today. Let's dive in. I would like to begin by sharing with you how we at Microsoft are thinking about Copilot and agents. Many of you may recall this from the keynotes earlier this week as well. We believe that every employee will have a Copilot. Copilot works as your personal assistant, and it's grounded in your work content, so your emails, your documents, and your meetings. Think of Copilot as being aligned to each individual, to each employee. We also believe that everyday business processes will be transformed by agents. There won't necessarily be one agent per business process. In fact, agents may come in varying levels of complexity, and they will orchestrate and work together to transform either a single or multiple business processes. Agents may also come from various different sources. They could be built by developers like yourself. They could be built by users. And Microsoft will also build and publish agents through their products like Microsoft 365 and Dynamics 365. So think of Copilot as the organizing layer for humans to interact with their agents. It's the UI for your AI. Now, let's zoom in on these agents. This week, we are thrilled to be announcing the Agent Store, a brand new immersive agent discovery experience where users can browse, install, and try out agents tailored to their needs, all within the context of their Copilot chat. The store showcases the full catalog of agents available to users, including those built by partners, independent developers, and by Microsoft. The store offers personalized discovery based on the user's context and their organization. It is available to users with and without a Copilot subscription, and the store offers seamless integration across the Microsoft 365 hubs, including Teams, Outlook, and Office, meaning users can install an agent once and use it anywhere. This is more than just a marketplace. The Agent Store is a curated hub where users can discover powerful tools to enhance their productivity and streamline their workflows. The Agent Store delivers value across the ecosystem, not just for users, but also for businesses and for partners. For users, the Agent Store simplifies finding the right solution for their everyday tasks, empowering users to seamlessly discover agents that are tailored to their specific needs. It also makes sharing agents with colleagues easier than ever. For businesses, they can leverage pre-built solutions that integrate into their existing workflows to scale faster. The Agent Store provides access to a diverse catalog of trusted agents which are ready to deploy and use. It's about speed, trust, and impact, enabling businesses to do even more, even faster. And for partners, the Agent Store is a powerful platform to showcase their innovative solutions, grow their user base, and build lasting business relationships. By participating in the Agent Store, partners can benefit from accelerated time to market and can gain access to millions of Copilot users. Now, let me walk you through a live demo of this experience. Here I am in the new Microsoft 365 Copilot experience, and I'm starting out in the Copilot chat that I know and love. As before, I can simply type to start interacting with Copilot. I can also look over at the newly designed navigation pane on the left, where I can use the search function at the top to begin searching for not just my conversations with Copilot, but also any documents, artifacts, and files. Below the chat, I can also see my list of most recently used agents: Miro, Now Virtual Agent, Matter, and more. Let's try talking to one of them, maybe Miro. So here, again, I can start typing to interact with it, or I can use one of the suggested prompts provided by the developers to start engaging. If I'm looking for the rest of my agents, or if I'm looking to find new agent, I can go back to the navigation pane and click on All Agents to launch the brand new Agent Store. From here, I can see my entire set of installed agents in the Your Agents section. I can click to begin engaging with any of them. I can choose to share the agent with any of my colleagues, and I can also pin the agent, moving it to the top of my app bar here so that it's always just a single click away. If I'm looking for a new kind of agent, I can also scroll down to see collections of agents expertly curated for me. These include agents built by Microsoft, agents built by my organization, which are tailored to our workflows, featured agents, which are handpicked for the highest value, agents that are popular in my organization, and many more. Since I've been hearing a lot about the researcher agent from my colleagues, I will click it to learn more. On this details dialog, I can read all about it and its capabilities. And when I'm ready, I can simply click here to install and launch it and begin engaging. If I have a specific agent in mind, I can also scroll back up to the top and use the search bar up here to search for my agent and begin engaging. And if I'm looking to go beyond the capabilities of what the store offers, I can also click to create my own agent from up here. And that was a quick peek at our new Agent Store experience in Microsoft 365. And we're so excited for you to get your hands on this new experience, and we can't wait to see what you will do with it. But believe it or not, we are just getting started. In the coming months, as the catalog of agents continues to grow with your valuable partnership, we have some exciting developments planned for the Agent Store. This includes better curation and categorization to help users discover the agents that are most relevant to them, enhanced merchandising to highlight the agents with the highest value, sample prompts to help users feel comfortable getting started and exploring the agent's many capabilities, user feedback and ratings to help users build trust and help partners gain confidence in their solutions, And last but not least, deeper integration across Microsoft 365 apps to help drive even more widespread usage. Now, I'd like to welcome my colleague Stephen, who will share with you the process for building an agent, as well as some best practices to keep in mind. Stephen?
Thanks, Siffat. It's great to see the agent store coming together. It's going to be the one-stop shop for agents for Copilot and M365. Hey, everybody. I'm Stephen Abrahams. I'm a group product manager on the Copilot ecosystem team. My team works with ISVs, partners of Microsoft, to build agents and apps for M365 and Copilot. I've had the privilege of working with some of the top companies in the industry and in this room even to build agents for Copilot, both the declarative and the custom engine agents that you've seen many slides at Build this year. So I'm going to spend a few minutes this morning talking about the opportunity we have as agent builders, provide a few tips we've seen so far that can improve how users are able to discover and interact with your agent. But first, before I get going, can everybody raise your hand if you've been making agents at Build this week? Fantastic. Thank you so much. Great to see that. Well, to date, we have over 70 agents in this new store that Siffat just demoed, and that number is growing every day. Those are just the ones that are commercially published and available to anybody who's using Copilot Chat and Copilot, M365 Copilot. Thank you to all of the partners that have been investing in being part of this ecosystem. It's fantastic, the momentum that we've seen. It's the confidence of these partners that really gets us up in the morning and makes us really want to have a platform focused on delivering the most valuable agent experiences to our joint customers. If your logo isn't on this slide today, I want you to reach out to my team and start building agents for M365 Copilot. Let's go in now and talk a little bit more about the opportunity. M365 and Copilot will give you the reach to 1 billion users. This is fundamentally why all of these partners are building agents for Copilot, Copilot Chat, Microsoft 365 suite of products. It's the extensive reach to all these users with Copilot as the UI for AI that helps bring all the work context to those users and your agent skills and data. Through your agents in Copilot, you can incorporate your product context, information, services into M365's Copilot's intelligence layer, and we can bring all of that intelligence to users in the flow of their work in Copilot, Teams, and all of the Office apps. We're going to demo some of that today for you. You've probably seen this slide many times this week, but for some reason you haven't, we have 2 ways for you to build an agent. Whether you're starting out and want a low-code approach, or if you already have your own AI stack and you want to bring the full power of your model and orchestration to connect your agents to M365. Copilot Studio is adding multi-tenant agents for our commercial store later this year, so stay tuned for that. So now let's get to the critical question of how to build a great agent. So this comes from working with all the agents builders on that slide I just showed you, and just kind of learning from them, learning from how they've gone about building their agents, and I'm going to walk you through 7 tips my team uses when working with agent builders. So let's get going on that. So regardless of the type of agent you're building, we always begin with a clear purpose and a specific user scenario in mind. I can't underestimate how important this is. Understand who your target user is, what problems they face, and how your agent can solve those problems more efficiently with natural language and prompting. This clarity will guide you all of your design decisions that you'll be making along the way, ensuring your agent is focused, stays on track, and provides value right out of the box. The first way you want to think about that is crafting effective starter prompts. Starter prompts are really critical for your agent success. They are your user's first experience with the agent and thus need to convey what the agent does. They should be diverse enough to cover the main capabilities of the agent, but also clear, concise, and contextual. Think of them as the initial conversation that sets the tone for every prompt that comes after. The better your starter prompts, the more accurately your agent can understand user intent. Okay, so craft and killer first prompts for your agent. You get 6 chances to make users understand the power of your agent, so make it count. First, don't just tell them, show them what your agent does. Go beyond just summarizing this article to showing your agent's capable of doing what with the summary. For instance, maybe you showcase the types of data your agent is skilled at working with, what kinds of analysis is possible, how it will output, things like that. Secondly, highlight the variety in your agent skills. What are the things that your agent can do that I may not have realized when I installed the agent? This is your opportunity to kind of showcase the breadth and the variety of things that your agent's capable of. Make it easy and inviting, of course, for them to click on those. Don't make them too long, but don't make them too short either. Think of them as the gateway to deeper features. You can hint at what else your agent can do in the starter prompts. It's really a very powerful tool. Lastly, tailor them to your audience's needs. What will they find most useful? Think not just about the first run experience, but essentially the longitudinal, the next time they start to engage with your agent. What makes them come back? So you've got these 6 prompts, make them count. It's your agent's best first introduction. But it doesn't stop there. So first of all, you can define these 2 different ways. If you're building a declarative agent, you'll use the manifest field for conversation starters. If you're building a custom engine agent, you'll use the bot command. We also have something called suggested prompts. What's a suggested prompt? They fall on after the response comes back from your agents. They're either generated by Copilot and our platform, in the case of declarative agents, or you as a developer can define these yourself. That's for a custom engine agent. So 2 ways that suggested prompts can happen, either depending on you're using a declarative agent or a custom engine agent. So if you sat in any of the labs or sessions this week, you probably already know effective instructions are really key to helping users get the most out of your declarative agents, so they perform both accurately and efficiently. The next slide I'm going to walk through kind of talks about how you achieve that. First of all, with instructions, we need to be really specific. We need to break down tasks into smaller, more manageable steps and use clear language in the instructions with helpful examples. Really imagine that you're teaching somebody how to do something. That's what you're doing. You're instructing the agent. So it's important to tell the agent what to do. Use positive language rather than focusing on what not to do, as that can sometimes cause confusion. And where it makes sense, include relevant knowledge, and I'll get into that in the next slide, and then explain any specialized terms that can really boost the agent's understanding of how well it responds. Ultimately, the best instructions are the ones that we've fine-tuned through testing. So you really want to make sure that you test these instructions, see how they work, go back, iterate, improve them, refine them, tweak them until the agent's really responding the way that you expect it to. A well-structured set of instructions ensures that the agent understands its role and its tasks and how to interact with users. So on the left side of this screen, you can see an example of the learning coach and how it uses purpose, guidelines, skills have all been defined for it within the instruction. And these instructions, of course, are only available for declarative agents. Defining API. So you want to design effective API interactions to ensure your agent reliably calls and interprets API responses for user requests. While the instructions that we just went through provide kind of the basic level of personalization for your agent, it's by adding knowledge, capabilities, and actions that you unlock kind of the full potential of these agents and provide a more comprehensive user experience. You can enable your agent to perform advanced calculations, generate images. For this, you can, if you're building a declarative agent, you can add code interpreter and graphic arts capabilities. You can, if you add API plugins, you can enable the agent to retrieve information or perform a task such as updating a record based off of an API that you've created. You can complete transactions with the same tooling. As a best practice, it's good to include how and when an agent should use the defined knowledge sources, capabilities, and actions within the instructions. And if you want to publish your agent to the store, it's mandatory to have your APIs plugins defined in the manifest package. And we have links and instructions on how to do that in the OpenAI spec YAML file. The next thing I'm going to talk about is domain ownership. And this is a fine tip, particularly if you're planning on doing publishing an agent and making that commercially available. For agents published to the store, domain ownership verification is essential to assure that only authorized entities can publish and update those agents. The general rule of thumb here is when you're including valid domains, only include those that you have ownership over. Do not include domains outside of your organizational control. And as you're going through the agent validation process with our team, they'll be checking to make sure that you have ownership. You don't want to use top-level domains such as .com, .in, .org. You don't want to use onmicrosoft.com unless it is under your control. However, you can use yoursite.com as a valid domain where it's under your control, even though the domain includes a wildcard. So just some tips there on domain ownership and creating valid domains. Got 2 more tips, and then we're going to do a demo. So hang in there. Now I'm going to start to talk about how to make your agent kind of stand out in the new agent store that Siffat was just demoing. First of all, you want to really think about the avatar for your agent. Your agent's avatar should reflect its personality, its use case. Don't necessarily just take your app logo and say, well, this is also our agent logo. Think about generating a personality or persona for your agent. Invest here. What we've observed is, the ISVs that have really thought about personifying the agent that accompanies their app or augments their app and is aligned with the brand helps build user trust. The next thing I want to talk about is the agent listing itself. This is where the name, logo, and the short description really have to stand out. You want them to be unique. So take a look at the agent store. See how others are writing their short descriptions. See what their logos look like. Make sure that your name is short enough so that it doesn't get truncated. It's the name, the logo, and the short description are used in many different places. So you want it to be easily identifiable amongst a sea of agents that are going to be in there eventually. The short description should cover the value that your agent provides in 7 to 9 words. So, spend some time in Copilot, evaluating different short ways that you can describe your agent. Once the user clicks on any of the agent, they'll see the agent description. The description should cover the value and the functionality of the agent. As we have highlighted here in the left image, it's a good idea to cover a few sample prompts as well. So I know right away, even before I've started using this agent, what I can ask it. In general, the description should align with the user intent, essentially why they're going to install this agent. It should be easily readable. Make sure you do a grammar check before you submit it. Believe me, we see a lot of stuff that comes through. Just do the basics, but go beyond that. Really think about what action words you want to have in there. Ultimately, this becomes the metadata that your agent will be discoverable through search in the agent store. Make sure there are no instructional phases, no URLs, emojis, hidden characters. Also, please refrain from using marketing claims like, it's the best, or it's #1. we won't pass your agent if you're using language like that. Also, it's a good idea to highlight important keywords to improve discoverability. I mentioned this earlier, but a well-written description not just helps creating user awareness, but it helps Microsoft 365 Copilot to efficiently discover and execute search operations. So keep an eye on that as well as you're thinking about the user description. Lastly, and then we'll jump into a couple of demos, leverage the feedback you get from Microsoft and your customers. We're going to give you a lot of feedback through the whole store submission process, but then it becomes, what are your users saying? How do you evolve your agent with their needs and their feedback? So you'll want to have a process where you're regularly reviewing the feedback that you have access to, apply updates based off that feedback, think about how you're going to leverage that feedback to decide what do you do next. Are you going to expand the knowledge sources your agent has access to? Are you going to expand the various tools and APIs that are at its command? Really, we think in the early days of agents, it's important to have a good feedback loop. With custom engine agents, we have a little bit more flexibility for you. We have, of course, a notion of thumbs up and thumbs down for measuring kind of the satisfaction of a response from Copilot. Well, that goes for declarative agents as well, but for custom engine agents, you can add those buttons yourselves and actually retrieve and store that feedback data from your users as well. So the Teams AI library gives you the capability to add those buttons for custom engine agents, and it's a great way for you to learn where responses are meeting the expectations of your users and ensuring that you get back all of that telemetry you need to provide more accurate responses as you improve your agent over time. So this is an important tip, left it to the last one. Everybody should think about, if you're building a custom engine agent, adding in these feedback buttons. So now I'm going to jump into a couple demos. I'm going to do a little live code, and I also have a video for two of our partners. The first one's Miro. Miro's a company that's really transforming the way professionals collaborate. And we're going to look at an integration the Miro team built for their innovation workspace. Their AI-powered collaboration platform is used by 90 million users worldwide. Brands like PepsiCo, Deloitte, H&M. It powers these critical workflows that product designers use, R&D, strategic planning, and they've really thought about, like, well, what happens when you start to get a lot of these Miro boards? How do you find them? How do you find the one that you were just working on with a person maybe just a few days ago? So I'll walk you through a demo. Let me get over to my demo machine and bring up Miro. I need you to help me. Thank you. Great. So, as Siffat was showing, in the agent store, I can see all my agents, and I have Miro here, and so I'll click on that. And Miro gives me 3 starter prompts out the bat. I can search for Miro boards by title, keywords, or recent updates. But I can also actually combine those into a single prompt. So let's start with finding Miro boards from the last few days regarding my Azure costs. So Miro is now using its API, and the first thing that it's going to do is look to see whether anything was created recently that I should have access to. So it has already essentially knows who I am and what content I should have access to, and is able to then give me a a rich adaptive card with access to that content. So now I'm going to walk through kind of what that experience is across M365. And so we're going to watch a quick video here.
Imagine you've been in a collaborative brainstorming session with colleagues working on a Miro board someone else created. A few days later, you need to reference that work, but you can't remember what the board was called or who exactly owned it. You just remember it was about optimizing your Azure cloud spend and who was in the meeting. Rather than messaging my colleagues or searching through numerous boards, I can simply ask Microsoft Copilot to help me find it. Copilot immediately understands my natural language query and searches across my Miro workspace, finding the exact board we were working on. It even shows me a preview of the content so I can confirm it's the right one. Oh, and here it is, the Azure Architecture Cost Management board I worked on with Sophie. I can now open it directly in Miro or copy the link to share with others. This seamless integration demonstrates only one of the ways Microsoft Copilot connects with your Miro account, understanding context and relationships between people and content to help you work more efficiently. Miro is quickly expanding Copilot integration with plans to launch workshops, accelerators, and brainstorming facilitation, as well as M365 search and synthesize capabilities in the near future to enable users to leverage Copilot search to find and summarize Miro data right in M365 application.
So that's an example of a simple agent that helps me find a template or a board that I've been working on recently using kind of the things that I have in my mind. I don't remember the name of it, but maybe I know the person or relative time frame or some keywords associated with it. So the next demo I'm going to present to you is an agent from 𝗦𝗽𝗀𝗀𝗀 called 𝗦𝗽𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 𝗦𝗽𝗀𝗀𝗀 is a leading provider of AI-powered HR solutions and is natively integrated to M365 and Teams. It streamlines onboarding, compliance, upskilling with seamless integration and AI-driven course creation right in the flow of work. No need to jump out to other platforms, other screens. So what I'm going to demo for you now is how you can create a course from within Copilot. So I'm going to pop over to a different browser for this. This is the 𝗦𝗽𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 agent. And I'm going to say here, let's generate a course on AI basics. But let's do it in Italian. So the first thing 𝗦𝗽𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 is going to do is say, hey, have I worked with you before? I haven't. Have you created something? We're going to actually start creating content here. So you're using their API to write to their system of record. So the first thing it does is confirm with me, the user, that I'm OK with writing to that system of record my data. So it's going to start now thinking about creating this AI basics class in Italian. So it's going to look at, is there something already? The first thing it's going to ask me to do is sign in, I guess, because the token expired on this device. So we'll do that quickly. Since it's leveraging my Copilot token, it does that seamlessly. I didn't have to enter in any credentials, which is nice. And now it should start creating the class. So it has a course title. It picked the learning language as Italian. I put it in the Italian course catalog. That's good. I don't want it in the French course catalog. And it's going to publish it. So I need to, if I want to make any changes at this point, before I commit it, I can do that. Or I can just go ahead and have it create the course. I'm going to now flip over to a video where I'll walk you through actually kind of the more extensive way that 𝗦𝗽𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 is integrated across the M365 platform.
𝗦𝗽𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀's learning management platform is natively built into Microsoft 365, tailored for teams, and leverages Copilot capabilities to help you succeed right in the flow of work. Now anyone can build courses in the Microsoft apps you know and love, whether it's PowerPoint, a Teams chat, an Outlook email, or even Excel and Word. No context switching needed. Here, let me show you just how easy it is to create a course and publish it directly to your Learn365 learning management system. Powered by Copilot and Learn365 from 𝗦𝗽𝗀. Quickly craft learning modules and quizzes from the content in the apps you're using. Make adjustments as needed, and seamlessly sync with Learn365 to deliver them as courses directly in your learning system. With Copilot and Learn365, human expertise meets AI innovation, making training and upskilling faster and smoother than ever before.
Well, that's it for my part of this session. So thank you all very much. It was great to talk a little bit about ecosystem, the opportunity, and showcase what a couple of our partners are doing. I'm going to bring up Kieran now, who's going to build an agent in less time than it takes you to order an Uber.
Thank you. Thank you, Stephen. Well, hello, Bill. I'm pumped to be here with you on the 4th day, so thank you for showing up, and especially early in the morning. I'm caffeinated and ready to go. A reminder, I'm Kieran Thomas. I'm a senior product manager on the Copilot ecosystem team, and my job is to make sure to build you the best agent ecosystem that you can grow your business on. So you've seen from Siffat and Stephen on how we're building the agent ecosystem and bringing it together with the store. And I'm hopefully going to attempt to build an agent for you in under 5 minutes so that you can see how easy it is to get started and build something hopefully as cool as Miro or Learn365 did. So let's switch over to my machine here. So while I do that, a quick, out of curiosity, how many of you have heard of the agent toolkit or the Teams toolkit, or have you used it? Okay, about half of you. Cool, okay, so this will be new for some of you. Let's get in there. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to start off with showing you, this is the VS Studio extension store. And I pulled up the Microsoft 365 Agents Toolkit. So this is newly renamed. It used to be called the Teams Toolkit. You can use this to now create agents along with other things like Teams apps. Very powerful, and the best part I like when I use this is that it comes default with a bunch of templates and pre-filled code. So with a few clicks, you can get going. And if I switch over to, I've already installed this, so I'm going to click on the extension. And this is what you see on the left-hand pane here. You can, all the different options you have. One of the things I've already done before is to connect it to my tenant that I'm going to be using today for the M365 tenant. And then I've also connected it to my Azure account. So anything that gets deployed is ready to go. And these check marks also are important to make sure that you're ready to build your agent. And then down here is where you can see these samples. And we'll get started by clicking this to create your new agent. And you can see we're going to create a declarative agent today. Declarative agent is a wrapper around Microsoft Copilot with your instructions and knowledge sources attached to it. But you can also do a whole bunch more things. Take a look at this when you get a chance. So let's go ahead and build a declarative agent. We're going to keep it simple and not add an action today, but you can also create ones with actions and other connectors if you'd like. And I'm going to go with the default folder here. And let's have some fun with it. So let's make a poet out of this. Let's call it a poet DA. And what Visual Studio Code does is it creates a new instance for you to now work on completely. And it's already pre-filled some of the files here. You can see the declarative agent JSON file and instructions. And then this is one of the things I mentioned earlier that I really like, is that it gives you a little sample guide to build and mess around with. So let's now get this going. We have everything we already need. We don't need to add anything more. It's as easy as clicking this provision button. So when I do that, what VS Code is going to do is to start doing all the magic behind the scenes to deploy the resources. And yeah, it's so quick. So it's 5 out of 5 steps have already been done. So now let's switch over and see it in action. So I'm going to refresh my Copilot view here. And you can see it's already live. So we have our agent already show up in our agent store and Copilot. And let's say hi. See if it works. There we go. So we've already gotten started with our agent. It's working and ready to use with the default template. Now let's go back to our agent and make a few changes. So I'm going to pull up our files here. And then let's update these instructions. Let me change the view so that we can see it a little bit more clear. So these are the default one that comes with. Let's now make our agent respond in poems. So I'm going to copy this instruction that I typed up before and paste that here. So you can see what it does is it makes sure, or it asks the declarative agent to respond with a poem every time. That's what all this instruction does. Let's save this. Let's also do one more thing before we try this out. I'm also going to add some conversation starters. So this is what you can use, and this is what like Steven showed earlier as well. It gives your users a default set of conversations or prompts that they can put in and play with without having to think about it. So I'm going to paste that in here. There we go. I'm going to save that. Cool. Now we'll just need to go in and provision this again like we did this before. And moment of truth, let's see if we have built a poet out of this declarative agent. Okay, 5 out of 5 done. So provisioning is done. Let's refresh this, make sure we have the latest bits. And then let's go back here. Okay, we now see our new starter prompts show up. So both of these are in here. And let's just say hi again like before and see. There we go. That looks like a poem to me. Yeah, with little rhymes in there. So this is something quick that we built. But if you had more time, I just wanted to also quickly show you what you could build with pulling in API instructions. So for example, in this case, there's a GitHub Copilot agent example. And if you have access to the public APIs for your company, you can do this yourself as well. So using this API, let's see what you can do here. So a few example starter prompts here show you. And I'm going to, let's say, pretend I want to see all the sample issues from our repo. And the repo, let's say I'm interested in the Llama repo. This is the one built by Meta. And they have 171 live issues. So that's quite a bit. But I want to use this declarative agent to get a summary of all the issues from this repo. So all I do is just paste the URL there, let's say, and put it into a bullet. So here, the declarative agent should go in, access the public REST APIs from GitHub, and there you go. It's now starting to pull all those issues from the Llama repo and summarize it into a bullet. So that's my demo. Hopefully this gives you an idea of what you can build. If you want to chat more about this, catch me after the session. But otherwise, back to you, Siffat, to show us how to publish something like this to the store.
Thank you, Kiran. What a cool demo. And thank you, Steven, for all the great tips. I can't wait to use them the next time I'm building my own agent. So now that we've learned how to build an agent, and we've learned how to design it using Steven's best practices, what's next? Let's publish it to the agent store. Let's talk about the process for getting your agents published to the agent store so that users across Microsoft 365 Copilot can start using them. You can do this in just 3 steps. Step 1, you'll begin in the Partner Center, where you can enroll in the Microsoft 365 and Copilot program. Next, you'll create a new offer under the Apps and Agents for Microsoft 365 and Copilot. This will map to your new agent submission. And finally, in step 3, you'll provide all the details to complete your submission. This includes your agent's name, the agent package, language availability, markets, CRM leads, end user agreements, and any other details that are required for the offer you created in step 2. And that's it. You can also choose to participate in the Microsoft 365 compliance program. This will help IT admins who are reviewing your agent. They will be able to review it more quickly and easily before making it available to members of their organization. This will also help drive adoption of your agent. And here is what each of those steps that I just walked through looks like. On the top left, you'll see Partner Center with the Microsoft 365 and Copilot program selected. On the top right is a view of the offer types that are available to you. This is where you'll select Apps and Agents. On the bottom left is where you can find all of your marketplace offers. And finally, on the bottom right is that optional step I mentioned, where you can choose to participate in the app compliance program to drive greater adoption of your agent. Now, agents submitted through the Microsoft 365 and Copilot program undergo extensive review and validation by Microsoft before they get published. There are some general terms and conditions that you'd need to meet as part of marketplace offers, as well as some specific requirements for Teams and for Microsoft 365. We do recommend that you go through these policies before submitting your agent for publishing. Once the review and the approval of your agent is complete by Microsoft, your agent becomes available not only in the agent store that we just saw, but also more broadly across app stores in Microsoft 365. And if for any reason your agent fails to meet the requirements at first, Microsoft will provide you with detailed feedback so you can review and modify your submission and submit it again until it's approved. Now, once your agent submission is approved, IT admins can review and manage agents before making them available to members of their organization. Admins can do this from the Microsoft 365 Admin Center, either through the Copilot tab or the Integrated Apps section. For submissions that are certified through the Microsoft 365 Compliance Program, Microsoft also provides rich information that your IT admins can review, helping accelerate the deployment of your agent. And IT admins can also view trends of agent usage and adoption within their organization to better assess their Copilot investment. Let's take a look at what some IT admins can see. Here we are in the Microsoft 365 Admin Center in the Integrated Apps section. You can see that Priority Matrix has been certified through the Microsoft 365 App Compliance Program. And admins can go through the information that Microsoft has provided here before making the agent available to members of their organization. As I mentioned, IT admins can also view trends of the agent adoption and usage within their organization. Here we are in Microsoft 365 Admin Center under the Reports section, where IT admins can reference the data shown to examine agent usage by agent type, details, summaries, and trend lines. As developers, you can also view adoption and usage data for your agents. Here we are in the Developer Portal, where developers can monitor active usage metrics for their agents, and they can leverage this data to help continuously improve their agents as well. The agent usage analytics are now supported for both third-party and custom agents, And if you're looking for more specific data on the usage of your agent within Microsoft 365 hubs like Teams, you can view this data as well through the developer portal. It is currently listed under the bot capability, but will soon be denoted as agent. And that is all you need to know about building agents and publishing them to our brand new agent store. We have shared with you today how to build an agent, what are some best practices as you're building your agent, and the simple 3-step process for publishing your agent to the agent store, putting it at the fingertips of millions of users. To learn even more about building agents, you can visit the AKA MS link shared here at the top, or you can check out any of the resources listed below. And thank you so much for joining us here on this final day of Build 2025. We look forward to seeing the agents you will create, and we can't wait to try them out ourselves. As you know, there was a lot of great content shared this week throughout the week of Build. And if you'd like to review any of the content from this session or from the prior great sessions this week, you can check out the Build site for recordings. Thank you again for joining us. We hope you enjoy the closing keynote later today and the rest of your time at Build.